Hey everybody, Tony D and Joan of Arc here with a screenwriting tip today, or a general writing tip, but screenwriting tips, that's what I call it. Should you put real people in your screenplays? This is a question I got asked a few times over the years. Some I've sort of done myself, and short answer, no. Longer answer, sure, but with some caveats. So, you will put real people in your screenplays and writing or whatever, but you will put versions of them. They're always versions. Because even if you set out to specifically do it, as I did for one of my screenplays, I set out to put my friends as characters in a screenplay because I thought it would be cool and they'd be excited about it. The first thing you have to know is your version of them won't be accurate. Not by a long shot. They're going to look at it and go, wait a minute, that's how you see me? It'll be a shock to them. So, everything you do is interpretative anyway, right? So even if you witness a crime, the old thing about people who witness a crime, they all have different versions of the crime and the perpetrator. That's kind of the same thing, only on a bigger scale, especially when you're trying to do a screenplay and trying to make it work. Because invariably, you will have events and scenes that take place in the screenplay that maybe you've never seen your friends get involved with, right? So it changes. You have to make decisions for the characters. You don't make decisions for your friends or family or whomever. So it's all interpretive. And that makes them different from your friends. So setting out to do that is probably a bad idea because it's just going to kind of annoy your friends. I think it's better to do short little homages to your friends. Maybe call a character or something in the screenplay. Name it after them, maybe, or maybe a nickname or something. But and your friends sort of change over the years too, and you kind of don't want to put yourself in a legal situation where your friend says, hey, that's me in the screenplay, you can't use my persona or whatever, and I'm going to sue you. Which probably won't happen because it'll, like I said, probably end up different, but you're really just going to annoy your friends. What you should do is, what I do now is, I base characters off of people I know. And it's very loosely based. That's what we mean by saying basing, based on a true story. It's not really the true story. It's a movie version of it, right? So you create movie versions of your friends or book versions of your friends, and you change them about. And it's better that they don't know. Because this way, if you have to do something horrible to them, or they turned out to be, I don't know, the villain, or do something stupid, you don't have to explain to them why you made that character do that thing, whatever it is. So I don't do that anymore. I base characters loosely. A lot of times they're a mix of people I know, or even just their character. They had a few traits in the beginning of people I knew, but as they evolved, they changed and did different things. So, yeah, I mean, it's a fun thing to do. You can start it as a starting point. You could say, well, I'm going to kind of base this on so and so, and then just sort of go from there and see where it leads you. You in a screenplay or in a book, you sort of take things to their logical conclusion. You keep up in the ante and see where it goes. So it may go to a dark place, and your friend may not like that, or you may not like that. You may say, oh, I don't want to do that to my friend. It makes him look bad or whatever. So change the names, change them up a little bit, and then you have a new character that you created. It's based on someone. It started that way, but as characters progress and evolve, they change depending on, like I'm writing the Pineys. So the characters in the Pineys are starting to evolve now that I just started writing the 8th book. I got to edit the 6th book, and we're up to 5 books online at Amazon.com. Kindle Unlimited is free. Someone's reading all 5 books, by the way. Thank you for that. I do get paid for the Kindle Unlimited free. I'm not sure how it works. It's like by the page, and I don't know. We get so many pennies a page, I guess. It's not the full price, but helps get the word out there, and people sometimes end up buying the book anyway. But you can download the ebook, or you can, you can buy the paperback, and they're nice. But getting back to your friends and family and whatnot, yeah, I mean, even if you take a friend or a family member and you describe them as a character in a book, you could hand that description to that person, and they're probably not going to get it, unless your friend has a very unusual trait that would be obvious, like, I don't know, they're missing a leg, or, something like that. It's something that, it gets so mixed around in your brain, it comes out different no matter what you do. And a lot of times, these characters, even the complex ones, are more simplified than real people. Because real people are incredibly complex. That's why a lot of times I rail against, politicians and government and stuff. They just try to simplify things with their policies and their pronouncements, and it's so awful to hear it when you work in a field where you create characters that are very simple. I mean, they can be complex for characters, but they're never as complex as people, because people always surprise you, and they live for years and years and years, and they change and they morph and they evolve, and sometimes something really bad happens to them and they become messed up. They could become worse for it. Sometimes they're bad people, and then they grow and they become good people. How many people out there know of, like, somebody who was a bully in school or just a jerk, and now they're like a great person to you, or just an average Joe, not and now you see them as maybe a little dysfunctional or little off. That's really hard to portray in a book, or especially in a movie, because movies are only 2 hours, tends to be one event, one sort of grouping of events or time, and and those epic movies where it's a lifetime of a character, even that, it's a condensed version of the character's life. You're just hitting the highlights in 90 minutes. You can't do every moment of his life. So it's good to experiment with it. I wouldn't try to be too true to characters, and I in terms based on family members and friends. And I also wouldn't tell people. Just do yourself, save yourself the headache. And along those same lines, I learned the hard way about dedicating books to people. Don't dedicate books to your girlfriends or your SO, because that changes too, and you'll probably end up regretting it. Just family, maybe family. I've done that a few times and haven't regretted it, but if you're just dating somebody, no, don't dedicate the book or whatever, because it's a long life, and that'll end up can we take that out? You got to call the publisher up. Can we take that out? I was very lucky. I dedicated a book to a girl I was dating, and the book came out. We got a few copies, but it was sort of like a prototype printing. It wasn't the run, and it was mostly print on demand anyway, so I broke up with her shortly after the book came out, so we were able to go back and cut out the dedication. I think we did. And there's not that many issues in print anyway. So, just a little tip from someone who's done this for a while. Anyhow, that is my screenwriting and writing tip for today. Joan, how was that? She puts so little input into these videos these days.